everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is MTG Ghoul Dude. Today, you've seen it. You've been asking to see what other tribes I would do, and I'm starting to go through them. So now we're going to start with crocodiles. So recently, a lot of your crocs have been titled as crocodiles, but we haven't always seen them as crocodiles. We'll see a few here that are still on the card as alligators, but they're not. And even in their name, there's one that's an alligator, but it's been errata to a crocodile. I don't know what their thing is against alligators, but I guess, you can only have one, and they pricked crocodiles. So let's go on ahead and get into it. Starting off with the grayscaled Givril. I don't know how to say that. For one blue, it has Island Walk, and it's a crocodile for one, and it's a 1/1. That's actually not pretty good. Well, there's about 34-ish, if I remember correctly, counting. Well, that doesn't not. It'll be probably about 33 if you don't count the uncard. But it's enough to build a commander deck. So let's continue. Crocodile for 2 and a blue, 2 and a green. It's a crocodile frog. It's a 1/3. It has reach, and it has evolve. So it's pretty versatile when it comes to if you can keep getting bigger crocs out there. Ghoul Draz Muckalord for 2 and a black. It's a 2/3 crocodile, and when it dies, you put a counter on target creature you control. In my opinion, this could just be me, but it looks like he is in the middle of a cha-cha or something, and he is just sassing it out. This could be just me, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it's funny. Then we get into Lurking Crocodile for 2 and a green. It has Bloodthirst. So if an opponent was dealt damage this turn, this creature gets a +1/+1 counter on it. I wonder if that applies to multiple, like in Commander. So like say you hit 3 different opponents. Questions for later. And it also has Island Walk, so that's pretty cool. Spined Croc. This is where we get into more of our modern crocodiles. So for 2 and a green, it's a 2/4, and it's a vanilla 2/4 for 3. But it's a big boy. Stonefair Crocodile for 2 and a green. It's a crocodile and it's a 3/2. It also has an ability for 2 and a black. It gains lifelink until end of turn, which is a really strange. Usually you would put 2 and a white nowadays, but back in Return to Ravnica, I think, this wasn't a go. This was a Golgari card, so more power to him, I guess. It's really strange to see lifelink on a Golgari card, though. Vivian's Crocodile for 2 and a green. It's a Spirit Crocodile, so it's a 3/3, and it gets +1/+1 as long as you control a Vivian Planeswalker. This would probably be good at Oathbreaker, because you can choose a Vivian, and it's automatic 3 mana 4/4. Dross Crocodile for 3 and a black. It's a zombie, so I've talked about this one before, but it's also a 5/1 vanilla. It's not great, but it'll fill out the curve. Emperor Crocodile for 3 and a green. It's a 5/5, and when you control no other creatures, you have to sacrifice it, which makes thematic sense, because you can't be a king of nothing. So it makes sense. Hagra Crocodile for 3 and a black. It's a 3/1. It can't block. And landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. This would actually fit very well into a Sultai like landfall strategy, Crocs landfall strategy. Pretty neat. Or landfall strategy with a Croc something. I don't know. Moldering. And I love how they spell Croc. They don't even spell crocodile. They spell Croc. K-R-O-K. It's pretty neat. 2, a black and a green. It's a 3/3 zombie crocodile. It has trample and lifelink for 4 mana. For 4 mana, that's actually kind of decent. And here comes the Root Water Alligator. It's a summon alligator, but they have eroded it to be a crocodile. It's really strange. But for 3 and a green, you get a 3/2 that you can sacrifice a forest and regenerate him. Probably not one of the best ones. Skeletal Crocodile for 3 and a black. It's a, I can't remember what the errata for this one is. It's a zombie. I can't remember. Probably. But it's a 5/1 for 4 mana. And it's vanilla. Catacomb Crocodile. He is the background for this video, if you haven't noticed. 4 and a black. And it's a vanilla 3/7. I love the flavor text on this one because it just shows the superiority of one point of view to another. And it says, "I am Sewer King," Rat said. "I am quick and cunning, and I know every tunnel." He said, "No, I am king," said Zombie. "I am cold and deadly, and no rot can harm me." Then Croc came and ate them both. It's pretty neat. Kenru Dreadmaw for 4 and a black. It's a zombie. It's another zombie. It's a 4/4 with Defender. And for 1 and a green, you can sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. So, Crocs wouldn't be great for this, considering, you have your outliers like the Catacomb, but other ones are really lower. Sandbar Crocodile for 4 and a blue. It has phasing, and it's a 6/5. I don't know why you would. That's pretty neat, but, I don't know. Excuse me. Ooh. Ward Scale Crocodile. This was the one I decided to use for the thumbnail because it is just a big chonker. It's a 5 power creature for 5 mana, but it's a 3 toughness creature with hexproof. So it kind of makes up for it. This was I know for a fact this was a draft all-star in War of the Spark because it was a hexproof creature. You couldn't do nothing. It was almost like a big boggle at that point. Dekura Scavenger. 5 and a black. It's a 4/6, and whenever it enters the battlefield, you may put target artifact or creature from your graveyard on top of your library. So it kind of just helps you filter out what you need and put it back on top out of your graveyard. It's pretty neat. I actually kind of like it. It's a big chonker boy though. And here we get a new one from March of the Machines. Injector Crocodile. For 4 and 2 black, it's a Phyrexian Crocodile. That's a 5/5. When it dies, incubate 3, and it has swamp cycling. So this, later on in the game, if you wanted to, to bring it back, you could bring it back, or whatnot. Sorry. Oof. I haven't yawned this much in ever. But yeah, I really do enjoy the... Is this, yeah, this is the March of the Machines. This is an Aftermath. Then we get Scuttle Gator for 4 and 2 hybrid blue and greens. It's a Crab Turtle Crocodile. That's a 6/6 with Defender. But for 6 and 2 hybrid green blue, you can adapt 3, which puts 3 counters on it. And as long as it has a +1/+1 counter on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So you gotta pay a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana just to be able for a 9/9 to attack. It seems kind of shady, but it is what it is. Then we get Sewer Crocodile from New Capenna. 5 and a blue. For 3 and a blue, you can make it to where it's unblockable. But it costs 3 less to activate if you have 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard. And it's a 4/6. Baleful Almond for 2 and a black. It's a Crocodile Demon from Amonkhet. It's a 4/3 with lifelink. And whenever it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature you control. Algae Grile. I don't know how to spell that or say that. For 3 and a green, it's a Crocodile with Shroud, and it's a 1/1 for 4. Oh, But whenever another creature dies, you may put a +1/+1 counter on it. So another creature, so it could be anybody's creature. So if tokens get really big, this is about to get really strong really fast. Crocodile the Crossing. 3 and a green, it's a 5/4 with haste. Yeah, you read that right. 5/4 with haste. And whenever it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature you control. So it could be a 3, it could be a 4/3 with haste for 4. Or it could be, you know, something bigger, depending on how you wanted to do it. Marsh Crocodile for 2 and a blue and a black. This one's going old school. When it comes into play, return a blue or black creature you control to its owner's hand. Whenever it comes into play, each player discards a card from his or her hand. Each player. So, you better be, you know, if this is the only card in your hand, and this is, you play it, you better find a way to draw a card or something, because you're about to have to put it back to your hand and discard it. Because that's all in one effect. That's all in one motion. It comes into play, return it. No, that would be sequenced. If you couldn't, it would just stick on the battlefield. No, it would go in order. So it triggers on the stack, comes into play, return it to your hand. When it comes into play, that one's still on the stack. You discard a card. Yeah, so if this is the only creature in your hand, you don't want it to be the only creature in your hand. Tenacious Hunter. This one doesn't even look like a crocodile. It looks more like a lizard, in my opinion. But you know, it is what it is. 2 and 2 green. As long as a creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, this has vigilance and death touch. Oh, that's pretty neat. But see, I've never paid attention to crocodiles. Scaled Behemoth. Now this one was another one that I heard a lot about in drafts, especially if you wanted to play it. Oh, it's such a good card. Because for 6 mana, you got a 6/7 with hexproof. It just seems like any good, big, stompy crocodile that had hexproof was just good. Like, you know, you with any, if you just can't do nothing with it, especially then you give it trample or something. Oh, it's over with. Ahmed Eternal for 2 and a black. It's a zombie crocodile demon. Wow, that's a lot. Well, that's what happens whenever you get eternalized. I guess you become a zombie, and then you, if you're from Amonkhet, your crocodiles are demons also. So, but it has a flick 3. The only downside to this card is it's a 5/5, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, it puts a -1/-1 counter on it. But if you're the last in a 8-person pod, this is not living, because everybody's going to try to cast a spell to where you can just kill it. And casting a spell is like part of the game, so it's not like they can not do it to say, hey, you know, hey, let me keep this Ahmed Eternal, unless you find a way to, like, what's it called, Solemnity, to where nothing can have counters on it. So that's the only way this lives. This is a good card in Limited or in 1v1, but it's not a great card in Commander. Veiled Crocodile. 2 and a blue. This is one of those honorary cards. 2 and a blue. Whenever a player has no cards in hand, if Veiled Crocodile is an enchantment, it becomes a 4/4 that counts as a crocodile. So, I don't know, when a player has no cards in hand. Yeah, so just as soon as somebody is hellbent, that's not you, or that it could be you, it becomes a 4/4. That's pretty neat. You know, just inconsequential creatures that you can just kind of like lay away until, you know, the situation is met. And then we have this one wild unset crocodile. This is wild crocodile. For 1 and a green, it's a host creature crocodile. And the first ability is depending on the host side of it. So the abilities are, when this creature enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And it's a 1/1. But if you change the host, it becomes a something crocodile. But if you change the second part of him, it's a wild something. So it becomes when this creature enters the battlefield, blank, or search your library, or blank search your library for a basic land card. I think this would be actually pretty good in a deck that was, you know, this could be a good, you know, this with guidance from your play group, with consent from your play group to play this, and some other wacky uncards. This could be a pretty good card. But that is going to be it for today, guys. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me and going down into the swamps and the murky bayous to look at these wonderful creatures in Magic that are the crocodiles. And if you have any suggestions on what you guys want to see next, let me know down in the comments below. And I want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers, my old subscribers, everybody that likes and comments on the videos. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you guys enough. And I'll see you guys next time in the graveyard.